Welcome back to Fox Explainer. Today I am going to show you a mystery, thriller film, movie from 2018 called London Fields. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Watch out and take care. The movie starts, and we see our main character, Nicola. We learn that she is about to be killed, but she doesn't know who is going to do it yet. She looks at someone through a car window, and this is where the scene ends. Now, we'll learn the whole story in the flashback. The story is being told to us by a writer whose name is Samson Young. Samson wants to write a novel, so he goes to London to stay with a friend who is also a writer. His friend's name is Marcus Spree, and he moves to New York to live at Samson's place. Basically, the two have swapped apartments. Samson thinks Mark's house is great. Samson needs a guide to get around the city, so Keith is there to help him out. Keith is a rude slob who, despite not being very smart, is very good at darts. After going to Mark's apartment, Keith takes him to a pub called the Black Cross, where he meets Guy Clinch, the current head of his family's business empire, who is stuck in a loveless marriage with his wife Hope. Clinch has a troubled son who tries to destroy everything he can get his hands on. He tries to be a good man and is not rude like Keith, but for some reason, Keith is his friend. Keith tells Samson that he is in a lot of debt because he spent all his money on sexual activities and then took out another loan to pay off the first one. Now, he is in a lot of debt. He has borrowed money from many people, and now he lives in constant fear that someone will come to kill him because he can't pay them back. The last person he borrowed money from is named Chick, and he is a very bad person. Keith is a champion at darts. Just as he was about to show Samson how good he was, a beautiful woman named Nicola walked in. When she walks into the bar, everyone looks at her. As soon as Keith sees Nicola, he goes up to her. On the other hand, Samson sees his main character in Nicola. Guy is sure that Keith is way out of his league with Nicola, but Keith still flirts with Nicola, who has just come back from a funeral. Nicola now stands between Keith and Guy. Keith tells her she looks beautiful, and as she's about to leave, he buys her flowers. He then follows her to her house to find out where she lives. Samson and Guy are also helping them. Samson is glad that she lives in the same building as him, and he is also very interested in her. The next day, Samson sits at his desk to write, but he can't focus. He sees Nicola going out, so he follows her and sees that she is throwing away drawings and papers. She leaves after dumping her stuff, and Samson picks up everything she threw away and starts to read it. Samson finds out that Nicola knew about her friend's death when she was a child. Just like in her dream, her friend died in the same way. After that, Samson reads about how her parents died. He finds out that her parents also died the same way as she had dreamed. She is now thinking that if everyone is going to leave her, why should she love anyone? Samson then finds out that Nicola has written about her death as well. She knows how and when she's going to die. From what Samson has read, it seems that Nicola has the power to see into the future, but she can only see people's deaths. After reading all this, Samson goes to see Nicola and brings all those books and papers with him. He tells her that he believes everything that she has written. He talks to her about her knowing who is going to kill her. She tells him that she can only see visions and that she met her killer yesterday, but she doesn't know which one it was because she met more than one man. Samson thinks it could be either Guy or Keith. He thinks this whole thing is a great story. Samson asks her to be the main character in his story. Nicola is a little annoyed at first, but in the end she agrees. In the next scene, Keith goes to Nicola's house and she gives him some of her old stuff to sell because she knows he needs money. In exchange, she asks him to set up a meeting with just her and Guy. When Keith hears this, he is a little taken aback and goes straight to see Guy. He tells him that Nicola needs his help. While they are talking, Guy's wife and son walk in. Guy's son is weird, so Guy has to take care of him all day. He asks Keith to do this job and then goes to see Nicola. Guy calls Nicola, and they arrange to meet somewhere. Samson, on the other hand, is watching everything that is going on. Samson thinks that Nicola is trying to stir up trouble because there are 2 boys and 1 girl in this triangle, which means that someone is bound to get hurt. Guy meets Nicola, and the 2 of them get to know each other. Nicola tells him that she used to work in an orphanage in India, where she met a girl who became her best friend. When Nicola had to go back home, she found out that the girl had been adopted by an Arab. The Arab then got married to the girl, and they now have a child together as well. Nicola says that when she tried to get in touch with the girl, she found out that the girl is trapped there and wants to get out. Nicola wants the girl to be in London, so she asks Guy to help her find her. A guy who likes Nicola already agrees to help her. While they are having dinner, Nicola tells him that she thinks they have a lot in common. Guy tells her that he is very glad to have met her. Nicola then goes to see Samson, who tells her that Guy is going to fall in love with her and then kill her. In the next scene, we see Samson and Keith hanging out when a gangster named Chick comes up to them. He talks to Keith and tells him that he has paid back all the people Keith borrowed money from, so Keith needs to give him the money he owes to all those people. He also says Keith isn't allowed to borrow money from anyone else. The story behind these two is that they are both dart players who compete against each other. There is going to be a competition, and if Keith can't give Chick his money back before the competition, he will have a good reason to hurt him physically so that he can win the competition even though his opponent is hurt. One day, Keith is in a darts competition, and Nicola and Guy both go to watch. To make Keith jealous, Nicola grabs Guy's hand. Keith gets really mad, and he wins the game to prove himself. The next day, Nicola calls Keith over to her house. When Keith shows up, Nicola is wearing white underwear and looks very hot. Keith is shocked right away. Nicola then tells him that Guy is helping her out and that she is about to get $60,000 from him. If he will do what she wants, she will give him half of the money. She begins to flirt with both of them. As Keith is leaving Nicola's house, Guy sees him. He gets a little suspicious, but Nicola tells him that nothing like that happened between them. Guy tells Nicola that he has been doing his best to find her friend, but hasn't been able to do so yet. Nicola gets very angry. She takes off her earrings and gives them to Guy, saying that they are worth $60,000 and that she was supposed to give them to a friend in exchange for money. She tells him that her friend has found her friend and her son, and he needs $60,000 to get them out. She then tells him that these earrings were her grandmother's. Guy tells her not to worry about it and helps her put on the earrings, telling her that he will take care of everything. The next day, Nicola tells Guy that she is meeting a foreign exchange officer, but in reality, she is just meeting one of her servants. Samson tells Nicola that she can win by looking at everything. He tells her to stop everything because she can change her future. Nicola, on the other hand, tells him that she can't change anything because everything is written down and has to happen that way. Samson and Nicola have been spending time together, so they are getting closer. Samson stops Nicola when she grabs his face and tries to kiss him. Nicola tells him she knows he's sick and about to die, and she wants to finish the book before he does. Samson agrees, and Nicola tells him that she will leave first, then Samson will finish the book and die. Nicola calls Guy late at night and tells him she can't keep seeing him. She says she is going to return his money and won't see him again. Keith then goes to see her and asks for his cut. She tells him that he will get it, but he has to do something first. She tells him to go tell Guy that she is leaving the city, and then Guy will come to her. Keith does exactly what he is told, and Guy runs off to see Nicola right away. Guy goes up to Nicola and tells her that he's not going to just let her go. They then have sex. In the next scene, we see Nicola hanging out with Samson. She tells him that since they've been so close, something is bound to happen between them, so he should stop trying so hard to stop it. Samson fights her at first, but in the end gives into her beauty and skill at seducing him. They then have sex. She's playing with all three of them right now. Then, Nicola goes to Keith's house, where he lives with his wife and daughter. She tells his wife that she is from social services and is there to check out the house. Nicola makes fun of the way they live and says she will give their daughter to child services if they don't change. Later that night, Keith goes to Nicola's apartment to threaten her, but she has the money to pay Chick, who paid off the other loan sharks, so now Keith owes him everything. Then, Chick's men kidnap Keith. They were going to kill him, but Keith told them he had the money, so they let him go. Keith is going to play in a big darts tournament that will be seen all over the country. Guy is also there, and one of Keith's friends comes up to him and tells him that Keith is cheating on his wife. When the man tells him more about the relationship, Guy realizes that he is talking about Nicola and gets very upset. Samson is looking through his friend's books at home when he comes across some pictures of Nicola with his friend and learns that they also had feelings for each other. On the other hand, Guy goes to see Nicola and finds Keith there already. Guy asks Nicola what Keith was doing when he left. Nicola then uses guilt to make him feel bad for thinking she was having an affair with Keith. Then, they start to fall in love and go to sleep together. The next morning, Samson meets Nicola and talks to her about her relationship with his writer friend. It turns out that Nicola really liked his friend. When the darts game starts, Nicola turns down both Keith and Guy by kissing Chick in front of them both. Samson looks through one of Mark's books and finds photos from Guy Fawkes Night that show him having an affair with Nicola. Guy stops Keith from killing Nicola because he is so mad at her. The guy then sits in the car we see at the beginning of the movie. Samson comes over and tells Guy that what he is about to do is wrong. He tells Guy to leave, and Guy does. Then, Samson gets into that car. On Nicola's 30th birthday, she finds out that Samson will kill her. She knew she was going to die that night, but she didn't know who was going to do it. Samson loves Nicola, but he can't let someone else kill her because it would mess up the end of his book. Nicola gives up and lets Samson kill her. Then he brings her body back to Mark's apartment and has his book printed. He changes the name to London Fields and puts a note on the book before giving it to Nicola. He then dies while lying next to her. When Mark gets home the next morning, he finds that they are both dead. He takes Samson's book and begins to read it. He sells the book under his own name, and it ends up being the best-selling book of all time. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more and hit the like button to help me out, and also leave a comment if you want me to explain your favorite film. Until next time, take care.